In a world oversaturated with other people's opinions, what is needed now is more opinions! Alex and the Garbage Man! Welcome. Hello. That should be a screenshot right there.
I thought you were going to go with like the Americana, like, hello, welcome to Americana. Please select. I can't remember what the hell he says after that.
Nope, that would be national appropriation. And since I am not American, I cannot do such a thing.
Are you a big Offspring fan? I don't know, big, but like.
Yeah, I was back in the day.
Yeah. I still think Smash is one of the best albums of the 90s. From cover to cover, like, what a great album.
Yeah.
You know, every once in a while I hear someone say like Ixnay on the Ombre or something like that, or I can't remember the name of the first one, but that Smash album, that was. And then another one I owned like a bunch of times because like either got scratched or stolen or scratched and stolen and stolen and scratched and stolen. So I know you weren't, and I know we've talked about this before, but I know you were more of the, hey, Nick, I need your CD kind of guy to burn it. But did you ever buy a multiple CD that like it either got wrecked or stolen or otherwise you had to rebuy it because it was just gone?
Not to my recollection. I tried to keep my CDs, number one, pretty close to the chest, but number two, pretty clean as well. Hey,
yeah,
Trevor.
That was hard for me because like hi Trev, my CDs always ended up at the parties, right? Because it was always, you know, both of ours did, but like when we moved onto the end of the house at Selwyn, like it was all, you know, like
yeah, unless you had it under lock and key, people were getting into it.
Yeah. So yeah, mine was, so Smash was a bunch of times. The Metallica Black album, again, a bunch of times. And then the second Eminem CD, like the Marshall Mathers LP, EP, WCB, whatever the heck it is. Like that one too. And I don't remember like where all those ones went, but the last Black album I lost. This is the funniest story because we were working out in the bush. We got it through Mr. Crosby's class, this job. Yeah. And I had the Black album in cassette, and Georgia Ivy had my Walkman. She was listening to it, and we were like fishing, and she dropped my Walkman, and I was kind of mad about the Walkman. I was more pissed off because there went the Black album again. I think that was like the 7th or 8th time I had bought it, and I'm just like, there it goes. Yeah, I'm annoyed about the Walkman, and it's only Tuesday, and we're in the bush till Friday, and there goes my Walkman. F&A, Cotton. F&A. Yes, Alex and his mixtapes. I got a lot of them. I got a lot of Alex's mixtapes when I moved, or when Alex moved on to CDs. I got a lot of his tapes because I was still using a Walkman when I was working in the mill. Don't tell them I wasn't supposed to be using it. So, yeah. I do have a funny Selwyn story, though. And I will not say names. People will figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had just gotten back from a trip to Calgary. From Calgary. Ashley, my girlfriend at the time, and Tash Minalt were there waiting for me when I got there. And I think I had been home for, I don't know, not long. Anyways, I don't even think I'd had a cigarette yet because we still smoked in there back in the 90s, right? And
70s.
Yeah. Thank you for picking up on that.
Well, so I listened to it not too long
ago. I know, right? Oh, really? Nice. Yeah. So there's a knock on the door, and I go to the door, and it's the landlady. Now, we were living in this guy's dad's house. Again, I'm not saying names, but you guys, people will figure it out. Well, Alex will and Ryan, of course, because Ryan lived there. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? She's like, yeah, I'm just here to get the rent. I'm like, Rent hasn't been paid yet? What are you talking about? Like, I've been on to Calgary. I left the rent with said gentleman. Oh, well, I haven't got it yet. So I'm already full broadbent. I'm gone. Right? Like, I'm furious because rent was $800. We paid it. He would happen to be over at Krez Payne's house playing the card game.
Oh, yeah.
And I called Chris. I'm like, hey, is he there? Yeah, hold on. And all I said to him on the phone was, get home now. Click. So he shows up, and by then, James had shown up. I think James had just got there, and I'm cutting a promo on him. And of course, here comes Redneck from his dad's cowboy hat on, beer in hand, just boop, 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 walking. He doesn't know what's going the fuck on. And I'm saying, like, our rent money's gone. Rent has been paid. Where's the fucking rent? And he's like, oh, it must have got stolen. Out of my wallet. Have you ever heard this story, Alex?
No, this is news to me.
This is new to you. Okay. So I'm going to try to set this up the best you can. Alex, fill in the spots for me here. When you would walk in the front door of the party house on Selwyn, right to your right was the living room.
Yeah.
TV, tons of VHS everywhere. This is back when VHS was still a thing. I think I had a book or two of CDs, DVDs everywhere, a Nintendo 64, fucking cigarettes, booze was on there. There's Ryan. Was everywhere. Oh, Sarah's heard it too. Yeah. So his store. Okay, so you walk. That's our living room. When you come into the kitchen, okay. We got pictures all over the walls, but if you were to go into the freezer, there was usually, I had a carton of cigarettes. Don't know. Ryan was smoking, I think. So he might have had a carton. Deaton didn't have any money, and the other guy didn't smoke. So you go down, and then there's my room, this gentleman's room, and the bathroom. Okay. So I guess I should say that the gentleman that lost our money is claiming that it was stolen. And it's very important to remember the layout of the house. Okay, guys? So as you come up to these, my bedroom, his bedroom, and the bathroom, you look into my bedroom. I had a girlfriend. My bedroom was fucking pristine because I had a girlfriend. Was there all the time. I had a brand new, at the time, $3,000 computer with games, and it had built a DVD player, so I had a few DVDs in there, nice and clean and fucking beautiful. It was a really nice room. Ashley did a great job of keeping my room clean. And then you go to the set room that we're talking about, and there's garbage. It smells, it's horrible. It stinks. It's dark. It's dingy. Disgusting. Okay. Now I'm telling this story. The story of the house is the important part of the story, boys and girls, because this gentleman claimed that somebody robbed the house. Okay. He is claiming that somebody came into our house, didn't stop in the living room where there was DVDs, VHS, TV, DVD player, stereo, the whole 9 yards. No, didn't go there. Probably wouldn't have went into the kitchen, but still, they'll pack cartons of cigarettes, beer, booze everywhere. No, we're not going to go there. We're going to go down and look at these two bedrooms. One is all clean with a brand new fucking computer in it. Okay. Nice and bright. I remember I had like guitar posters. I remember I had a Kirk Hammett and Rage Against the Machine and all that shit. And I had my computer, so I didn't need stereo. I remember I had top of the line speakers for my computer. Like $300 speakers for the computer at the time. Like, fuck. Like, it was a really nice system. Now, I'm not going to go in there. The robber is going to go into this dark, stinky room where the cat litter is so full that this gentleman's cat is using my cat's cat litter, because it's so full in his room. Found his wallet and took our $800 out of the wallet and left. So not only did he try that story, then he tried to blame my girlfriend and Tasha.
Ooh.
Yeah. And Ryan can vouch for that. He tried, and Sarah probably could too. He tried to blame everybody but himself. But then I found out afterwards somebody had a habit. And, no way. Roughy nose. Yeah. So.
Well, that's news to me after 20 years.
I found that out after the fact.
Jesus.
So it says a lot about a guy when me and Ryan and James didn't end up coming back because he moved to Grand Prairie. But us three basically moved out and left him. So we had a lot of fun in that house. And I mean, we truly did have a lot of fun in that house.
Yep.
But that was the end. That's when it all ended. Like, yeah, it was, we had end of that. We had a lot of fun. So I don't know. Figured to start off with a story. So yeah, they get you every time. The allergies.
Yeah, it takes that cash right out of that wallet.
Yeah. So, anyways, yes, but yeah, I don't know. When I thought about selling, I can't believe you didn't know that story. Yep.
No, I had no idea about that. All I knew were the good times.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not as though I was avoiding hearing stuff like that. It's that I didn't hear stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Which is, it's shocking you didn't even just hear it. You know what I mean? Not that like I didn't call you, go, Bundy, listen to what this dick licker did. Yeah, he's the same guy that I went at in Penny's house. The guy that I ended up going to because so then another story. So this is there's a lot of stories around this asshole. So story time with Nick. This was after all that because we did mend fences, but so we had an incident at Penny's house. It was New Year's Eve, and months before this, the same asshole wanted to drive home drunk from Prince or drive through Prince George drunk. Well, it was me and Sean Kadar. Kim, my wife, was there at the time. I believe Kim was there. Yeah, because I think she drove us home. Drove us to my Auntie Shelley's. Anyways, and he wanted to drive, and we're like, no. And he's like, well, Sean drove drunk to Mackenzie or whatever. I'm like, okay, first off, that's not my business. Secondly, if he gets pulled over in Mackenzie, I can walk home. Or I can get home, right? Like, that's his. I like, if I'm a Prince George and you get a 24-hour, I'm fucking stuck here. Yeah. So we're outside. Oh, what was... It was like the Pulse or something. It wasn't in Prince for long. It was like a dance club. And we're out in the parking lot arguing with him to get his keys. Well, Sean, goes to take a piss, and this guy busts a bottle and sticks it up in his face.
What?
If I'm lying, I'm dying. Okay? I should bring Kim down to verify this because I think she was there. And all Sean did with his dick is in his hand, he looks at him and goes, "Fwah!" And he fucking takes the bottle out of his fucking hand. So that night, then fast forward to New Year's during the summer. No, it wasn't the pit. No, this was in Prince. It wasn't the snake pit. This was in Prince George. Generator? No, it wasn't the penetrator either. It was I think it was called the Pulse. Okay. I want to say it was called the Pulse. It wasn't there long. It's at the bottom of the hotel. But anyways, fast forward to New Year's, and he wasn't invited to Penny's. He was not supposed to show up. He showed up, and I was downstairs, and I wanted to fight him. Yeah, I remember. They wouldn't let me fight. Yeah, you two were not far away from each other on the stairs. Yeah, and you guys, you guys wouldn't let me through. And finally, I left that night for a bit. I actually left with Chad, and we went and fucking did karaoke. Yeah, we went to the bar that night. I'm pretty sure that was the night, right, Chad? Positive that was the night he showed. Yeah, positive, because there's a picture of me, Trev, and Chad looks like he's staring off into space. Yeah, because there is a picture from the night with us three. But yeah, what an asshole. Huh. Wow. Yeah. What an asshole. Well, that was story time with Nick. I'm sure I'll come up with an intro video for that. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I started thinking, and I don't know. Every time around this time, like I start getting nostalgic because, yeah, it was the first night we really, where we bonded. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And around this time, because this is like, when partying would start as a kid, and it always like, it was those, what was it, like 7 months, 8 months in that house? Yeah, was some of the funnest times ever. Yeah, and it's it was a lot of fun. So it always comes back. Like, I don't know why it hit me so hard tonight. Hit me like a tree. Get it? Again? No, okay. No. Yeah. Moving on. We were a few weeks ago. We had a fire in the back, and my neighbors, like my really good friend Rob. And there was us and a couple other friends. And who the fuck? I'm on the air. Don't be messaging me right now. Goddamn Dewey. Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like some sausages? And there there was a whole group of us, and he's telling me, "Yeah, I need to actually fall down, take those 3 trees down, you know." And I looked at him and said, "Yeah, I'm not qualified to do that anymore." It's funny because it's true. See, that's why I can't say shit, because she's watching. I get a phone call from my mother. You're not supposed to be joking about that stuff.
Oh, come on. We're guys. We can joke about that stuff.
Why is he messaging me? He knows I'm busy.
Yeah, this isn't like the other show where we're going to charge money for, looking at your phone and stuff.
Oh, are we going to do that? What?
No.
Dwight messaged me. The world champion of the galaxy fucking messaged me.
How's he doing?
Oh, he's good. He's good. They're finally starting to wrestle again. So
I imagine they're going through all the pre-contact, you doing the head temperature test and so on.
Yep. Yeah. So they got again, if anyone wants to see, please support. These are guys that need support, especially local wrestling, Pure Power Wrestling on Facebook. His matches have been on Facebook. Give it a watch, guys. Give it a like. Every little bit helps. We always ask you guys to do it for us too, but do it for them. They, these are guys that are, not spring chickens, some of them, and they're really putting their bodies on the line for stuff that they love. So all the support you can give them would be great. So yeah.
Hopefully in the next 3 to 6 months, these restrictions will ease. Things will start opening up. We'll go back to some form of normal. I think the statistic was if 80% of the population of the country gets vaccinated, things can go back to normal, which would be great. Yeah.
Oh, I will say this. There are some things I would like to see stay in place. Okay. And it's not the masks. Okay. It's not. The arrows on the floor. Okay. But apparently what I want to stay in place is washing your hands after you use the washroom. Again, we shouldn't have been told this last year.
You're asking too much.
Wash your stuff after you make the pee-pee and the boom-boom. Make sure, okay? And the other one I'm super positive for is the lines in the checkout at the grocery store. I'm all about that, because there are times when you'd be standing there and there'd be a guy behind you with his basket, and it's like the scene from Ghost when they're doing the thing with the clay, and he's like right behind you. Are those Mesquite barbecue? It's like, well, I guess I'll bend over for you.
Just kind of pass it over your shoulder to him.
He's like, do you mind if I have those?
No, that's when you could say to him when you're bent over, Daddy, would you like some sausage?
Yeah. Would you like my Johnson?
What else should remain in place after restrictions ease? Last year, I got my insurance renewed over the phone. I didn't have to go into a place. That's great. And I did my taxes this year over the phone. That should remain in place. Like stuff like this should have been from remote since long before now. Can
I let you in a little secret?
Yes, you can.
It has been in Alberta for as long as I can remember.
Oh, shit.
Yep. I really feel bad for you guys in BC. ICBC has the market.
It does.
Which is ridiculous.
There are some smaller insurance companies, but ICBC is usually the go-to. Although, not too long ago, I think in the last 2 weeks or so, they did issue savings refund relief checks, which was great. I mean, my record is pretty clean, and they gave me money anyway. Okay,
so do you mind divulging how much? Because there's been such a variance. My parents got so Dad and Deb, my stepmom, got like $200 and some bucks back, but that was my mom's been sick, so they got a good hunk of money back. So they haven't been putting the mileage on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing, or assuming, if you want to use that word, that it's the lack of the kilometer difference isn't as much. I'm guessing, is that what they were basing it off of?
I don't know. Usually when you go in to renew, how far are you traveling? What is it being used for? So the distance figures in. Mine was under $200, that relief check. So again, I'm thinking that's based on how many kilometers you're driving for work or pleasure or whatever it is. Jesus, Sarah got a good chunk of money back. I'm wondering if marital status figures in as well, because families would probably get more money back. That looks really good on ICBC if they placate the families.
And that's what I was going to say too. Benjamin drives a lot. Fuck, I love that guy. He travels a lot. He travels to Alberta to work. So,
wow.
Yeah, like that's actually really good considering. I don't know what it, but maybe I'm in the minority here, and maybe people would be more behind this. But you want to know what? ICBC, all these, you keep your fucking money, guys. When I say keep it, and let's go after the gas companies and this fucking carbon tax shit. The gas is now, I don't know what it is there, but it's now $1.27 in Alberta. Oh, hi, Bruce.
Hey, the old man.
Hi, pup.
58 and 85.
Also depends on where. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, because did you guys switch? Like, we have a system now. Like, the renewal is like bees are from like March. There's like date for all the shit now, and no stickers anymore. I don't know how they plan on policing it, but no stickers anymore.
I had a sticker. I think I had a sticker last year. I can't remember.
Yeah, we just renewed. No stickers now. So I don't, again, I should have printed that. Now we're talking about it. Somebody, I think it was in Leduc here in Alberta. The cops busted them. They had printed out a paper license plate, and that was on the back of their vehicle.
I saw that.
Did you see that? And they use one of those plastic covers that people think will fix the photo radar. I'll just say to that, how about you drive the speed limit, assholes? All these people coming up with these gimmicks to not get caught by photo radar. But I will say that photo radar sometimes, especially Sarah, I don't know if Sarah ever got one, but I think she had seen they put it in some pretty shitty spots. Like, just as you're coming out to the highway, the 110, because on the 4 lanes it's 110, is like, 100 meters away. So you're starting to gas up, and there's the photo radar. You motherfuckers.
That's the thing. The lane, not the speed change starts once you pass the sign, and this has always been a point of contention. I drive by a school on my way home from my job, 2 schools actually, and a lot of people will start speeding up once they see the resume speed sign. So the school zone is 30 kilometers an hour. Once they see the sign and it's like 100 feet away, they start speeding up. No, it's the speed change starts once you pass the sign. I don't know why people don't understand this.
And here's something that bothers me. No, not so much on the highways. Okay. But, that's right. Dad did get one. That's right. I don't like when people report. I don't like when the radios do it where the photo radars are.
No, I agree.
When it pertains to residential and school areas. As far as I'm concerned, every single school area or playground area should have a photo radar. Because that they should. But yeah, people that report when they're in the school zones drives me nuts. I'm all for the highways. Hey, highways, yeah, but when it's school and residential, what I don't know about you, but me, when I'm in residential, I never do 50. That seems like it's way too fast. Yeah. I never do 50 in residential. Yeah. It just seems way too fast. Yeah. So, but I remember hearing something a few months back. Maybe it was pre-COVID, but that they were thinking about dropping residential speed limits to 30.
They've done that in a few areas in where I live. It's 30 all the time, and that's not a bad idea. I could see on main streets, 50. And in some places in Vancouver, the signs will be main streets 50, lanes 20, which makes sense. There's no reason to go speeding 50 kilometers just to get to another street. Yeah, and so then here's another one that drives me nuts, and I'm kind of curious where you fall on this. There's 2 real big things that I've known. The older I get, the more I know it drives me nuts. Number 1, people backing out of parking spots. Okay, you're backing up into a live lane. Unless I'm stopping to be a nice guy to let you back out, don't just back out assuming I'm going to stop. That's not how this works. Okay, there's 3. I just thought of the other one too while I'm talking. That drives me nuts. Number 2. People that merge onto highways, especially here in Alberta, like the 4-lane highway between Tabor and Lethbridge, Alberta. Everybody that turns onto that highway into the slow lane, they just automatically think that you should move over for them.
they don't hit that drives me mental. The idea of you coming onto this highway is you're supposed to hit 110 before you enter the lane.
Yeah, that's what the on-ramp is for.
Yeah, I don't like. I know when they're not, we're not that big, but guess what, bitch? You should be waiting. The third one, and one day I'm gonna get the balls to do it, to set this up. And now I have the shitty car to do it. So beware, Tabor drivers. People that pass on the right when a car is going to turn.
Yeah.
One day I'm gonna do it. Because I have this little shitty Toyota one day, and I'm just gonna go, oh, I wanted to go to Roger Sugar, and you're gonna fucking smash into me. And guess what? You're in the wrong because you're passing on the right.
Exactly.
It drives me insane. Because one day, someone's gonna turn in, like they're gonna think that they're both turning, right? And poof, right?
Yep. Car length back from the stoplight. Yes.
Yes.
Or even more I've seen. And why? And especially when they know the light is going to change, they start inching towards the stop line. Why weren't you there in the first place? I mean, especially here in the city, the light, the red light, the block back could be going green, so more people can get out of that intersection if you are at the red light where you're supposed to be.
Exactly. But yep.
People, it's like people, they're not aware of the dimensions of their vehicle.
The only people that are, in my opinion, allowed to do that up to a stoplight are semi-drivers. I always say that because it's a pain in the ass, because they're trying to sit in second gear just so they can keep going, so they don't have to pop out, clutch in, and go again, right? So that way they can just kind of go and start grabbing gears again. Yep. It's to help traffic flow, people. So the ones that get me are the ones when they come up to the line. His mom's still watching. I got a mom story about a four-way stop too. So no, mom won't comment. So the ones that come up to the line and they're watching, and as the lights change, they're already creeping into the intersection. It's like, what is your hurry? Your hair on fire? Like, I got a funny mom four-way stop story. So sure, here, like, they don't have four-way stops in Mackenzie, right? That I don't even think there's a three-way stop in Mountain View anymore. I think they took it out. I think it's just a straight through now, if I remember last time I was there, because I commented on it. But we come to one of the main four-way stops here. My mother is the last one at the stop sign, and she is the first one to go.
Oh.
And I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? She's like, well, I stopped. I'm like, Mom, you were the last one there. That means you wait. Well, I stopped. Okay, Mom. Okay, just go. I stopped.
Yeah, those touch and go where they're kind of rolling through the stop sign. I hate that.
Yeah.
And I'm not even part of a union, and I know that seniority rules at the four-way stop. Whoever's there first, Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't get those. Like, it's funny when you come up to the stops there, and you're coming up almost to the same as, and you're almost stopped before the other guy is. But he did a quick stop, go, and it's like, well, okay, thanks for Again, you live in Tabor. Tabor isn't bigger than Mackenzie. I don't know where you need to go that, like.
On the issue of personal responsibility,
yes, sir.
What is your feeling if you have heard of a group called cart narcs?
I have not. Please enlighten me.
All right. So cart narcs, I think this is in the United States, a group of people who kind of, volunteer patrol, let's say shopping center parking lots or grocery store parking lots. And you know how people, they'll empty their cart and then leave the cart somewhere other than where it should be, take it back to the store or put it in the designated cart spot. People will just leave the stuff lying around. So the cart narcs, they have these little magnetized stickers that they put on people's cars when people are being irresponsible assholes, I would like to say, and not bringing their cart back. So it's just kind of a personal responsibility reminder that people should be taking the cart back to where it should be. So I agree with the cart narcs philosophy, and I think that people should be called out for their not responsible behavior, because it is a conscious choice to not take the cart back, to not stop at the four-way stop properly, to not use the turn signal. People should be called out for this kind of thing. What's your feeling on that?
Prime example. I am for this. Now, to record, because I'm actually brought it up, and there's actually a YouTube channel and a Facebook page and an Instagram. Now, I am all for you calling someone out. I will say the bigger, like they have 167,000 subscribers. Okay. Yes, this bug, there's one I'll add to this too that I wish people would do. This is the other one. This is the one I wish people, but yes. My crippled ass, my leg's been really sore this last week because I've been back to work for longer. I put my cart back today at Walmart. I still put it back. I will do one better when the carts, the one that drives me nuts is the people who use the expecting mothers or babies parking and they don't have any children. I watched a woman once and Kim was standing there beside me so she can verify. This lady got out. This Karen got out. You could just look at her. She got out of her Yukon with her fucking kid who has way too much tanning fucking shit on with the blonde hair and the ripped pants. That ladies, I don't know my sister owns any of these, but these pants that you own that are fucking ripped to shreds look fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like they look ridiculous. Okay. Anyways. And I looked right at it. I couldn't even contain myself. I looked at her and said, "Hey lady, did you forget your baby in the fucking truck?" And she turned, she gave me the finger. And I said, "Oh, maybe you should put that somewhere, bitch. You'd be in a better fucking mood." I say carts drive me nuts, but that one bugs me even more. Because as a parent who did at one time have a stroller and a car seat, it is nice to be able to park that close. Now, I will say a lot of the vehicles in those parking spots are not big enough to get shit out of the vehicle. So a lot of the times I like to park further back a little bit just so I had the room to open up my doors and wasn't dinging people's shit. And, but yeah, that drives me. But yeah, I like the cart thing. You can't walk, you can't walk. Like they're all over. And like I have a big ding in the side of my truck. I got, I think 2 or 3 weeks. I'm pretty sure it was a cart. Because there was a cart towards the back of my truck. So I'm guessing the wind caught it and fucking into the side of my nice blue truck.
Ooh, shit.
Yeah. So shame them for sure.
Yeah. And
I'm watching like this. Now there's just like the thumbnail is going right now. Like this guy's like freaking out on this guy. Now, this is the problem. The problem I do have is that you're recording them and people don't want to be recorded. And if you wanted to do it and not have the videos, I'd be all about you. Hey, call this person out but still, I don't know. Like,
that's the thing. That's part of the shaming culture.
I just watched them put a magnet on the back of her vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah. And those magnets are removable. It's not going to damage the vehicle.
Oh, yeah. She just hucked it at his head.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it bugs me, especially when you see like there's elderly people trying to get spots and like guys, it doesn't take, if my fat ass can walk one back, like walk it back. That and take your fucking, not watching the video, take your hitches out of your fucking trucks. Oh man, when you're kind of like trying to go kind of around the back and you catch your knee on one of those mother truckers. Whoo! Oh, see, now so now I just saw a video. The guy, like the cart was blowing because it's windy and he wasn't going to put it away. And this guy ran up and grabbed it and caught it before it hit this guy's fucking vehicle. Ugh, people are assholes.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, this is the point that it's come to in this day and age where it's become a hobby to do stuff like this, to record video of people not doing their due diligence, their civic duty, common sense, common courtesy. We shouldn't have to do this, but why has it gotten to this point in this day and age? And I'm not saying, I was privileged and I had two parents and they taught me right from wrong and crap like that. Like this should be ingrained in people in general. And for some reason, either it's not, or they disregard it as soon as they can. It's just like when people get their license, like when they're doing their, I don't know how long it is, their L, their N, and that's a year or two. They have to be on the ball. They have to be following all the rules. Once they get their full license, they disregard all that. I've seen it happen many times, and I don't understand why. Why has it gotten to this point in this day and age, you know?
I think a lot of values have been lost. And it's funny is like, you know, it's my children. It's my child. It's a child. Like, I tried my best, and I still to this day give him shit. And from the reports I've got from his mother, his girlfriend's mother, my son is a very polite young man when he's there, which is awesome. But there are times where like I'm just like, you know, I look at him like, dude, please, thank you. Like, what do you like? And I'm sure Sarah can vouch for this. I think like to this day, if we're like I'm with my dad, like Dad and Debbie. And if we're ordering food and I don't say please and thank you quick enough, my dad will like, hey, like, dude, I just finished talking. I'm going to say please and thank you. Just give me, and I'm 41 years old almost. To this day, my dad will still be, hey, you know, like your manners. Yeah. I held the door and I hold the door open for people.
Yeah.
That's just what so I held the door open for this lady going into Pharmasave. And she's like, that is really nice. It is nice to see there are some gentlemen who still do this. And I'm thinking, people don't do this anymore. Like I know that most doors are automatic now, but yeah. I couldn't imagine even if someone's just getting out of their car at 7-Eleven. See, he did it this weekend. Dad did it this weekend to Sarah. It's awesome. Like I can't believe that people don't hold like that. Just blows my mind.
Yeah, common courtesy. Yeah.
Yeah, and like Chadney said, you know, train not to give a shit. I don't know what it like. I don't know, and I've, you know, I know Chad and Tammy have given their kids manners and stuff. I know I have. So I don't know, like, but then again, these videos aren't young people; they're older people.
Yeah.
So I got to say that right now. Like, okay, I'm just gonna give the term so people who haven't seen the videos would know they're boomers. They're older than me, like. You know, so let's say in the chat right now, like Chadney and Trevor are the grandpas. They're older than fucking Chad and Trev. Like these are the full coffin dodgers, like not Chad and Trevor who just need to be in the folks' homes right now. I'm talking to the people that are older than those two guys.
You talking to my dad's age?
Oh yeah, I forgot Dad was listening. Shit.
He is boomer.
Damn. See what I mean? Disrespectful pukes, right, Bruce? Fuck.
I held the door for some, and I don't mean to virtue signal, but that's what I'm going to get accused of. I held the door for someone good 3 weeks ago, and she said, "Oh, it's great to see chivalry is not dead." And all I did was nod my head and be on my way.
You know what to say.
Yeah, I live in a large city. It's no secret that a lot of people don't want to, you know, talk to others, associate with others, acknowledge that anyone else is there. And I've fallen into that mentality over the years, unfortunately. But I still be as polite to as many people as I possibly can, because there's no reason not to.
I want again, everyone knows how I feel about religion, but do unto others. Like I want to be treated like a human. I want to be treated like I'm not. I want people to be nice and manners towards me. And don't get it twisted. Everybody in this chat, including Bruce, knows I have a forked tongue. I can be the most heinous asshole in the world when it calls to be time. But you can be polite. Like I remember when we got this was years ago, but we got pictures done at the Walmart photo lab, and I was, please, can you please help me with the machine? I'm not sure how to use it. Thank you. And the gentleman's like, oh, you know what? That's really nice to hear someone using their manners. And it's like people like, and I'm sure Sarah gets this a lot because she works at A&W, and it takes every fiber in my body when I'm standing behind somebody, like getting something to eat or something. They're like, I want this. I want that. I want this. I want that. And I just every fiber of my body just to go, how about a please and thank you? Like just, may I please? I don't even care if you say, can I please? And like, can I please? Okay, yeah, it's supposed to be may I please. But I told this story when we went to Barkerville. I don't know if Sarah was in there with us, but in the shop where you could get hot chocolate, there's an old, like they play their parts, right? And Cohen was leaning on the counter like this, right? Just leaning there. And she looked right down at him and said, "Excuse me, young man, will you please stop leaning on my counter?" And then he goes, "Can I have a hot chocolate, please?" And she goes, "I don't know. Can you have a hot chocolate?" And he's like, "May I please have a hot chocolate?" "Yeah, of course you can, honey." I was like, yes. Yeah, I don't know if Sarah was in there with that. But like, my customer service went to university. Yeah. Yeah. I've said this about my wife. I love my wife with all my heart. The first time I saw her in the bank and I saw Bank Kim, I was like, "The fuck is this?" Anybody that knows Kim from back in the day would have been like, "The fuck is this?" Oh, everyone, yeah, it was just like, it's like, and what? Like this isn't Kim. Yeah, see, Sarah wasn't there when that happened. Yeah, this is a Kim. Yeah, she's both like, "Hello, this is Kim. Hello, Kim Bradman speaking." Like, what? Like I just. But and it's go ahead. Sorry,
I was going to say I will attest to the frustration of parents. My parents in particular, no matter how many times they tell their children or child something and instill these good values into their children, no matter how hard they try, the child will deviate from that, whether unconsciously or purposefully. And I feel sorry. I feel bad. And I apologize to my mom to this day for the gray hair that I gave her when she was probably mid to late 30s, because I was a hellion as a kid. Now, why? I don't know that it was conscious or what, but no matter how much you teach some kids, this is what I'm saying, they will turn out to be bad people, school shooters, serial killers, or just, average run-of-the-mill person who sometimes gets selfish and does a public freak out every once in a while. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
No, it's interesting. Like the I don't know how you want to say. I call shenanigans on that, Mr. Borrowman. She needed to have the grief. She has it too easy with you now. Okay. Actually, I bet you it is, because all he does is take pictures of shit. So he's probably pretty easy to take care of. Which I will say, your dad takes some wonderful photos on Facebook. There's some great pictures, Bruce. They're very nice. I don't know. It's like the old minister's daughter thing, where like whenever you see it in movies, or even heard stories about like the girls that were missing, like they were the like Footloose, the pastor's daughter was a whore, right? Like
that's more to do with repression.
You think that's what it is? Yeah.
Especially with religion.
Yeah.
The pastor's daughter has so much forced upon her, and subconsciously she wants to break out from that. That's why she consciously deviates, because she's so pressured.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I can totally see that and totally understand how it'd be like, finally just breaking free of those, like, and being old enough to be able to articulate properly that you don't want to do it and be able to act out accordingly, right? Like as a child you don't know how to do it, and then as you become like a young adult you figure out there's things you can do to really buck the system, if you will, right? So it's an interesting it's a dynamic that I always find weird just how some children, like, I always find a problem with the product of your own environment, the environment you've grown up in. And I'm not taking any shots, and I don't want it to be thought of this way, but my dad worked hard, but like he didn't do a lot around the house. My dad really didn't. But I mean, I do. Like I do dishes. Well, like even being hurt, I mean, I'm doing dishes, but before I got hurt, I was always doing housework. And what I found funny is, I mean, he does now, but our parents smoked a copious amount of weed, mine and Ryan's, and I didn't really dabble a lot in it. Now, Ryan does now, and me and Sarah, I mean, my dad and me, I mean, maybe can't even say I've ever even smoked a joint with my sister.
Wow.
Yeah, and you've been in my house. You saw what my dad had laying around, and I never, Yeah, it's always weird. But then you get kids that, they don't, but they're just big. I mean, and don't get me wrong, and I've said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. I think weed should have been legal years ago. I think it's no different than alcohol. I think it's actually better because when you're burnt out, you have a nap and you wake up and you're better, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I know there's tons and thousands of papers written on it, and guys a lot smarter than us sitting here doing bro science know a lot more about it. So, yeah, it's yeah, no, Ryan, yeah, it's funny how that worked. They just never did, and I've tried some it did actually help me sleep. Some gummies, like they did help sleep, but I'm back to get up at 6 a.m. and I don't need help sleeping. God, man. 6 a.m. Good Lord.
Yeah, the older you get, the more it shifts the bedtime.
Oh, yeah.
Midnight, 10, 9, 8:30.
Hey, it's noon.
Naps.
Man, naps are amazing. I mean, they're like at the first day I got back. I think I said this too last week. My first day back to work, I freaking had like the most 2 hours awesomest nap. I got home from work and I changed into my comfortable clothes. There's another question I have. And I freaking out 2 hours, solid 2 hours. I mean, out in a fucking coma. See? And that was my ex too. Ashley used to be the same way. When she would smoke dope, she would get sick. Not now. She loves that sticky, icky. Ooh, wee. Yeah, I get a text from Sarah. She's already at work at like just after 6 this morning. I'm like, fuck, this 5 a.m. And it's 5 a.m. there. I was 6 for me and she's already at work. I'm like, oh, it's ridiculous. So I have a question and everybody can answer except for Ryan. Because I can see him wearing them a lot longer. What is a general rule of thumb? Now, this is a dude question because I know women have different kinds of underwear. What is an acceptable amount of time during a day for a man to wear a pair of boxers and still be able to wear them the next day? I think 2 to 3 hours tops, depending what you were doing. Like if you just went out to the grocery store and did a little bit of running around, you could wear those, say, to work the next day. Or even if you're going to do the same thing the next day, maybe a couple hours. Because I'm that guy that when I get home from work, I usually get into like some comfortable shorts. I usually take my boxers off. I just wear comfortable shorts. So like last week, I was only working the 2 hours. So I thought, okay, well, I didn't wear them all week, but I wore them like for 2 days because it was only 2 hours at work. What do you think the acceptable distance is or time is to wear a set of boxers that you could actually wear them the next day?
I'd like to break out the bro science on this one and say treat it like socks and change it every day because I've done no science, no research on this. Do your own research. I've done none of that. So I don't know what the bacterial culture buildup is with regards to that particular environment, and I don't want to take the chance. So change them every day. Why not?
I find it funny is I don't know how you are with gym gear, but there's a couple of times where like I'll just wear the same shirt for like 2 workouts, and it's just like I don't even know why I did that. And then you're just like, because it's bad when you're on the bike or something, and you're like, you're gagging yourself, and you're like, oh, this is not a good idea.
Yep. No, the gym gear, it's like the superhero costume. You put it on for that particular event, and then once it's done, you take it off. That's how I am with the gym gear every time. Different costume every workout.
Yeah, I really enjoyed because I like the Under Armour stuff, but it's expensive, right? I do like because I like the Wickening or whatever the hell you want to call it. Shut up, Chad. You're old. You're up at 4 o'clock anyway. Don't you got to hit the early morning breakfast, motherfucker? Don't they stop serving seniors menu at like 6? Oh snap. But like Walmart, the N1 stuff, I like wearing to work out in. It's lighter, and I don't like working out in cotton. I find it really stuffy. So,
good night, Dad.
Night, Pop. I find it. I don't like wearing cotton to work out. I like the lighter stuff. myself.
Breathe.
Yeah. Breathe the breathable stuff. Yeah. If I really want to sweat, I like wearing. I got like some sleeveless Under Armour muscle shirts, and I'll wear like a sleeveless hoodie on top of it and zip up the hoodie and just I'll really like, because there's nothing better than when you're done a workout and you take that, like you can already see it's coming through the hood, and you take that hoodie off and it's just soaked.
I find nowadays I'm sweating more because I'm wearing the mask pretty much the entire workout. And again, I would rather wear the mask in the gym as opposed to having the gym be closed down. So I'm willing to make that sacrifice. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, which I don't understand again. Why gyms? Fuck, look at that. Okay, I'm impressed, dude. We've made it almost 52 minutes and we haven't talked about COVID. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That was sweet. So now we're gonna talk about it a bit. That's the point. I'd rather wear a mask and be able to do things than not to wear a mask and get things shut down. Does that make sense? Prime example, we have May 14th is supposed to be our social club's golf tournament, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And they were supposed to have a meeting tonight to talk about, well, what we're going to do, what's going to happen, blee, blah, blue, blah, blee, blue, blue. Okay, here's what really should be said. If you're not comfortable being around other people, don't come. End of meeting. If we have enough people, we'll go ahead with it. If there's not enough interest because people are worried, then we won't have it. We usually golf like in our quote unquote work bubbles, anyways. Like I golfed with world champion of the galaxy and Gord and Lisa Lash. Those two people that I work with. There were 4 of us, and everyone golfed or with their own people, right in their bubble. We did this in September last year. Why it shouldn't even be a question now. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Wear masks, and if we don't want to sit, they have a deck. We can sit there and drink afterwards.
Nice.
So I maybe if you're not comfortable, just don't go to that shit. That's kind of as I see it.
Now, of course, that kind of argument will be used by the anti-maskers who will say, well, if you're concerned about catching the virus, stay home. And I would like to remind people that seniors have died who stayed at home in the old folks' home. They stayed home, they died. So now what? And then I'll go back to the point that you brought up with the care workers going in for 2 weeks and then swapping out for 2 weeks and then going back in. There might be some logistical problems in that. I'm sure that can be ironed out. But we're in this day and age, this is not like 1918 because there are way more people. Number one, the population is that much bigger. Yeah. And number two, the national economies, they're integrated. So we can't simply shut down. We have to try and keep our society going. And in order to do so, we are going to not entirely restrict, but somewhat restrict contact while maintaining the economy somewhat. I know a lot of jobs have been lost, but the world was not shut down. I want to make that clear. Not everything was shut down. A lot was, but not everything. We have to compromise at some point. We have to, kind of think this through.
No, and it's exactly what we've been saying from the get-go. I've seen some jokes and memes, and I mean, they're wrong. Okay, they're not wrong. I guess I don't even know how the fuck to say it, but
wrong.
If this was as deadly as everybody said it was supposed to be, shouldn't everybody in Florida and Texas be dead?
That's the thing, yeah.
I'm playing. We like to play both sides of the sword here, like both sides of the fence, guys. Like, then there's their argument. And technically, Florida's probably got the highest age bracket, right? Because that's a retire or state.
Yeah.
And they're open.
Has anybody paid attention to the infection numbers and the death toll in Florida? I mean, over the past year or so.
I honestly haven't.
So that's a consideration that must be taken in before any argument is presented as Florida being either an exception or the top notch of where this argument should go.
Okay, so as I'm reading here, they have. Oh, hi, Brody. Well, yeah, that's actually a very interesting point that Brody's making. They had full 40,000 people at opening day, and you would think that if there was a huge surge, we would have heard about it. And he's not wrong. I didn't hear nothing about it. Yeah, at the end, Fort Worth. Yeah, that's where. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's saying 3 weeks ago. Now, I didn't see that. I was going to say it takes about 2 weeks for the numbers to start spiking. If that was the case, it hasn't happened. Okay, great. We're getting somewhere.
So as I'm looking here, that is the USA. Sorry, I was looking just for Florida, but I can't find just. Oh, there's Florida. Yeah. So the blue line is a set new cases. So they spiked big time back in January. Fuck, they had 30,000 in a day. But now, considering, now people also need to remember, their population is a lot more than Canada and our place here, Alberta and BC. So new cases today, or the 28th, so that was yesterday, was 5,178. In perspective, we had just over 2,000 here in Alberta. So let's do what's Florida's Florida population. Just let me look at that real quick.
Florida's population way bigger than Alberta. That's for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm population 2021. 21.6 million people.
Jesus, that's like two-thirds the size of Canada's population.
That's what I was just gonna say. So this is where then again, guys, we're trying to play, if you're on Google, you can change the numbers per 100,000. Can you do that? Oh, it's all time. That's just 1 week. Well, it's got to hear. These are just the new cases. So I'm just going on this. I just typed in Google and it says it's the first. It says the daily change. This is from the New York Times, updated 3 hours ago. That's just what I'm going on. But no matter what, how you look at it. So 5,178 and the population of Florida is 21.6 million.
So either there's underreporting going on, or people are social distancing and being responsible and wearing masks, or there's a third factor that I can't think of at the moment. I mean, something's got to give in terms of why the infection numbers are so low.
Maybe it is, but okay. Here's your third thing. What do they have in abundance of Florida except for old people and alligators?
Oranges?
The sun.
The sun. Yeah, a lot of heat.
That was what, but didn't they say vitamin D? And no, Chad, not vitamin dick. Don't get all excited. And okay. But vitamin D. They're all in the sun. Isn't that what they said? Like, wasn't that was the big spiel was, in the beginning of this, that vitamin D would help that and working out?
And that leads into what Joe Rogan said recently, and the White House rebuked him for. Rogan was saying that if you're young and healthy, you're getting lots of vitamin D, you've got a good diet, you're fit, then no, you don't need to take the vaccine. And the White House's response was, when did Joe Rogan become a doctor? And it's a decent joke, but yeah, I understand their point.
Yeah, I do too. Because again, like you're gonna get people that, we'll say that. Well, Joe Rogan's not a doctor, blah blah blah. But I mean, I thought they were saying this from the get go, like be helped. But that goes for anything, though. That's not just the coronavirus. That goes for anything to eat healthy, to exercise, that's just life in general. That being healthy makes you won't get sick.
Yeah, you're less susceptible to succumbing to diseases because of your level of health. Again, comorbidities and such.
Yeah.
And there are exceptions with regards to people getting COVID and dying who have no comorbidities like cancer or lowered immune system due to being overweight, smoking, excess alcohol consumption, poor diet, so on and so forth. But those seem to be outliers. It's people who are generally unhealthy or old who have lowered immune systems because of their age who are getting COVID. But again, anyone can get it. Doesn't matter age, gender, where they live, health. There's a friend that I have, her sister has COVID, and she's definitely not doing well at this point. She's alive, but she's pretty well knocked down. And I got to say the same about Ted Nugent. He was talking trash about COVID. It's not that bad, and then he got it, and I think he still got it, and he's been down for a good week, saying, "Oh my God, I feel terrible."
And just reading here, vaccinations in Florida are just over 8 million. So they haven't even done half the population yet.
Yeah.
In Florida. So that yeah. Well, oh wait, at least one is at least one, Brody, I'm just reading it right now, is 41.3. Fully vaccinated is, I think, right. Yeah, Brody's right, 28.6%. Yeah, and we've got 2. Yeah, we got 2. And again, guys, we're not, and this is, I keep saying this just so, we know there's something out there. But I find isn't it funny how all of a sudden there's no reports of the flu anymore?
Okay.
There was in Alberta. It said 0. Global News did report there was 0. Yeah. So
now, the anti-maskers, I want to say conspiracy theorists, but that's not fair because that's basically name calling. And I don't want to do that at this point. And with regards to the flu and such, I was going somewhere with this. The arguments of 0 flu, do people not get the common cold and the seasonal flu due to exposure, contact, so on and so forth, because we've been social distancing more, wearing masks? Would that not reduce the flu, the amount of people getting the flu? And this is where I was going with this. With regards to testing for COVID, someone doesn't feel well, they go get a test. Let's say it's the nasal swab, or as I like to say it, the Egyptian, I think it's Egyptian nasal thing, because in Egypt for pharaohs, what they would do is put a big long hook up the nose once a pharaoh had died and pull his brain out through his nose. Yeah, which was interesting. But if you're going to prepare a pharaoh for the afterlife, you would think he would need his brain. But anyway, they give him a bunch of gold or something like that, but they take his brain, which makes no sense.
Did they give him Frankenstein and myrrh too?
No.
Oh.
No copyright claims and such. Nope. Oh. So once the hospital administration or the testing staff have those samples, how do they then determine what is the difference between the seasonal flu and COVID? I mean, it's not like you can say false positives on everything. There has to be some way to detect whether it's just the common cold, the seasonal flu, or COVID-19 on either a molecular or a bacterial level. It's too big a conspiracy to say that, oh, they just test them all positive. No, that can't be true, because the conspiracy would be way too big, and the more people who are in on a conspiracy, the less likely it is to be a conspiracy. Why is COVID spreading? Well, there are a number of factors. Not everyone, and I'll bring up the freedom marches, not everyone wants to wear masks or social distance. And why is COVID spreading? It's too big to say exactly why. There's not just one reason. There are a multitude of reasons, and it varies from area to area, province to province, state to state, country to country. It can't just be one thing. There's a host of factors. But Trudeau is doing a great job. Well, not everyone would agree with that, but he's got to do something. Look, put yourself in the shoes of the premier of your province, the provincial health officer of your province, or the leader of Canada. And if you're them and the infection numbers are going up, you have to do something. So what do? Don't just be an armchair political commentator. If you've got a better answer than they do, let's hear it. And it's got to be something practical, logical, and rational. It can't just be, let's open everything up, because then, and this is just me guessing, then we would really see the numbers explode. But I'm being armchair on that, so you could call me out for that, and that's fine. But you've got to do something. If you're a provincial health officer, you have to do something. So what do? There's no easy answer.
And don't get it twisted. Nobody was coming, like, I don't care if what's his face would have won the election here in Canada, the Conservative Party. It didn't matter. It didn't matter if the NDP was in charge here. It didn't matter. Everyone politically was going to lose in this. No one was going to win. No, there was no, there was no way there was no way.
Brody, that's an interesting idea. So if Rhett and the Freedom Rally, if they are able to convince the mayor of Taber to ease restrictions or just get rid of them altogether, then if you can test people coming into town, then maybe you can get an idea of if COVID is going to spread. I mean, if you're a contained community, Taber, Alberta, you measure everyone who comes in, if that's such a thing as possible, and you know who has the disease, then perhaps it could be a decent experiment. Why not try it? I agree. Why not try it somewhere in an isolated community?
They wouldn't try it because so I said this at the beginning, like, why doesn't each area go on what would be the best for their area? Like, Taber, for the longest time, I think we had like 3 forever. So, okay, so why isn't it just business as usual here? Okay. And then, you think about it and you talk to people. It's like, well, it's because, let's say, like, they had a spike in Brooks, right? And everything was getting shut down in Brooks. Well, then what happens? Everybody in Brooks comes down to Taber because golf courses open, the pool's open, everything's open here. Well, shit. Someone who was sick in Brooks just brought it down from Brooks.
And they didn't know they had it.
They didn't know they had it. And then they went to our pool. They went to our golf course and something wasn't cleaned right. And then you have an outbreak out here. That's why it has to be. See, people, these freedom marches, like, okay, it is their right to assemble. It's their right to do that. That is in the charter. Their right. Even if Taber said, the council got together and lifted the mask mandate, it doesn't matter because it's a provincial-wide thing right now.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure it's a provincial-wide mandate right now. I believe.
Hey, Gordon. Gordon brings up New Zealand, and if I remember correctly, New Zealand locked down hard early on.
I have a friend. His name is Chris. He lives in Australia. I've gamed with him. I game with him all the time. I asked him about that because I heard it. And he said what happened was in Melbourne, they had 5. In Melbourne, Australia, they had 5 cases. He said they shut down 2 weeks, done. Like, everything was done. And, I mean, it's been a few weeks since I've talked to Med. That's his gamer tag. But he said, yeah, they were fucking business is open, door, like, but that was a thing. They did an instant shutdown. Pfft, we're done. And everything shut down for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not trying to open a whole can of worms here when I say this, but Jim Jeffries always makes this reference in his thing about, like, guns. In Australia, they had the biggest mass shooting at the time. They go, no more guns. And they're like, we get it.
Port
just
Arthur.
Like this. Yeah, Port Arthur. You guys are sick. We're fucking done. And all the Australians listened. Okay, yeah, fuck, we're done. Okay, we'll be done for 2 weeks. In Alberta, and Canada and the USA, it's like, fuck you, we're not going anywhere. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Right? Like, so.
I like the guy whose YouTube name is BC Golf talking about golfing. How you can't go.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just messing with you, Brody.
Well, yeah. Don't get it twisted, Brody. Then I agree. Like, golf is stupid. Like, golf has always made me. Well, no, not the game, but just you're in a big open area. Like, you're with a friend that like I don't know about you guys, but when I'm interacting with people, like when the band, for instance, the band, if one of us is not feeling good, like we're all feeling under the weather, we cancel rehearsal. We're done. If somebody's gonna go golfing and they're really not, like they're coughing and they're not feeling good, most times they're not gonna go because they feel like shit. That's what I'm saying, right? Like, you're outside in the you're in the sun and it's a beautiful day and you're
if it's a provincial mandate, then what's the point of a local bylaw? I want to say overkill, and I will point to the United States with regards to marijuana, illegal federally, in most states legal. So differs from state to state. So you could have it and it's okay, but then the federal government comes in and says you're busted, you're going to jail or something.
Yep. Here's the thing, Brody. I think the town was actually, and I have, I'm not bashing council enough. This is not a bash at all. But I think they were hoping the province was going to do it. And they did, I think the next day or something, the province mandated it. So I think that's one reason that the town was holding off, was kind of hoping, and I don't blame them, to be like, okay, let's just kind of hold off. Maybe the province will do it and we won't get the mud on our hands, right? You know what I'm saying? So
what measures now, when you say killing us, are you talking literally, metaphorically, figuratively?
That's not like what I don't understand. They're killing us. Now, I feel horrible for the small businesses that have had to shut down.
Yeah.
That's personally affected me, like with the gym anyways. People have lost their, I'm really getting back into Law and Order SVU, and I had to stop watching it last week because it was all about COVID. So I'm just like, I'm done. Yeah.
The economy has been affected. However, again, the whole world has not been shut down. There are a lot of businesses out there, both big and small, that have remained open.
I'm fortunate. I'm very lucky. I missed I missed some work because I got hurt. But if I hadn't got hurt, I wouldn't have missed a day of work. So I'm very fortunate. Same with my wife. Kim wouldn't have missed any time either.
And Gordon's got a point, and I agree with him. Either lockdown for a month, warn everybody so they can prepare. I am all for that. If we could do a 2-week hard lockdown and tell everyone, hey, in 2 months, we are locking absolutely everything down. In 2 months, and PR every day, radio, internet, TV. We're going to lock down hard for 2 months. Get your food ready. You're going to be taking time off from your job. Yes, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, instead of pussyfooting around, instead of doing these half measures, we're going full stop, 2 weeks. I don't know about a month. I would go 2 weeks. Now, remember, we're in BC, and it's never been said that we can't go outside. It has never been said. So if you can go outside, social distance, stay away from people who are in large groups, you should be fine.
Oh, yeah. No, but we've been watching the shit out of that, Brody. Oh, yeah. We watched every episode. It's great.
Yeah, if they had a shutdown, most likely it would be gone. Even if someone got infected on the first day of the hard lockdown, in 2 weeks, they should be over their symptoms. Should be. Now, technically, yeah, I would be all in favor of that, Gordon. You got a good point.
Hey, I go back to they finally did all the shutdowns and stuff, and this has bothered me from the get-go with this whole situation when it was, when we heard about this COVID and the Chinese flu, because that's where it came from.
Careful with that.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, just saying.
Why weren't the flights shut down immediately? If I've said this numerous times, and of course it's still very relevant to talk about at work and whatnot too. I remember sitting on the couch watching it with Kim, thinking this is like Walking Dead shit. Like this is like the numbers that they were coming out with was like. This is a zombie apocalypse stuff, and that didn't happen.
Yeah,
but the problem is, Gord, you have those people that just won't do it. They wouldn't do it. People just will not. They just won't. They just wouldn't do it. They just would refuse to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. If we're all going to be in this together, we all have to agree to do this. And if do a hard 2-week lockdown, and then let's move back from that phase to a lighter phase or a phase before that, so that people can breathe again and we can have our freedoms back. And, our flights, no flights from India or Pakistan, not into BC at least.
None of them. All air travel should have been fucking canceled. And if this was what they were going for, that the world was so foobarred, this is what needed to happen, then that's what should have happened.
The Who said no. We don't get fooled again.
I like we put the both different songs. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Brody. When they went on about like 100 million plus were gonna die, I remember seeing those numbers going, holy shit.
Thanks for the like, Gordon. Really appreciate it.
So it was. Go ahead. Sorry.
Hope you're doing well, Gordon. Everyone who's watching, I hope you all are doing well. I apologize that we're talking about COVID, but this is part of the day and age in which we live. It's the big elephant in the room that you can't avoid talking about.
And I will say, at least, and again, I'm very proud of us. We went 51 minutes without mentioning it. We talked about everything else.
We should probably have a poll and say, for the next show, do you want us to avoid COVID altogether? Because I have no problem with doing that. I got a dozen stories on COVID-related stuff, but I could throw that off to the side, no problem.
Yeah, it just, I don't know, what else to, yeah, it just, me and Alex talked about before we got on the air, is everybody just, is it COVID fatigue? And I don't want to go down this, I guess I'm going to anyways, but it just seems ever since Trump's gone, everything's just got quieter. It has. Why are we not having a football draft show with Alex and Casey? We missed the fucking ball on that. Could you imagine a draft show with Alex and Casey? That'd be great.
I would become Casey trying to come up with different sports names. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. I don't know what else is there. Let's I do have to wheel my fucking kid pretty soon. He's working full time. Well, full time today, anyways.
Nice.
He's a gas jockey. Go up gas bar. You need your gas pumped? You just go see Coleman Broadbent and you make sure you make the little fucker pump your fuel.
Gas jockeys still exist, hey?
Yeah, some of them do. You have to ask for it now.
Yeah.
You have to ask, for full serve. But if not, they actually still have the full serve pumps. And do you remember when full serve used to be? You used to get charged extra for it. Do you remember that?
Back in the 70s.
No, I remember. Actually, it's funny. Somebody said I think, what did I say fuel was in Mackenzie? Like $1.43 or something. It's up there now. Whoa. It was a big number. I remember I can still remember coming up the cow path, but going up to walking towards Chevron when the Foiseys owned it. And I remember seeing fuel for 53 cents there. I remember seeing 53 cents.
I swear one time in the 90s, I saw like 39.7 or something like that,
You probably did. I'm sure you did. But it just, man. What are we doing when we come up? You're coming down here. We're south, Sarah. What did I say we're doing? What did I?
She's probably going to pump a bunch of gas into jerry cans at a low price.
Actually, it's funny. So that was one of my arguments when I was with Volker about their wages, and I found a picture. I think it was like 14 years old. Okay, and Trevor's in GP, right?
He's in Edmonton.
Gas to the $1.40. No, what the hell? What are we doing when you come down here aside from getting your nephew drunk? I lost it. What the fuck was I gonna say? I don't even remember. Oh, Volker. And the picture from 14. So the wages were just the shits. And I remember I found a picture and the picture was it. Perfect.
I gave her the idea.
The picture said Petrocan $69.99. 69, right? And for shotgun and beer, maybe you should, dummy. Fuck, he's dumb. Just one sec. So I remember going to them and saying, look, gas was like $1.10 at the time. Like, look, my wages haven't went up, and this is what fuel was, and this is what it is now. See the issue here? Like, yeah. And for those of you who don't know, I think most of the people here are friends of Facebook, but my son tried to shotgun a beer, and I thought he had stabbed himself in the finger with a knife. That's what I thought had happened. No, he went to put his finger through the can, and he fucking slit his finger open. Yeah. I have not taught that Jedi well.
I was going to say that the king of shotgunning beers did not have a training session with his son on how to shotgun beers.
I had to learn how to do it myself. My dad didn't drink, so.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, I got a lot of flack for it. But he's only, actually, it's funny because he's only like recently started.
Way to drop the ball, dummy.
You can't even spell maybe right. Shut the fuck up.
Oh.
Maybe.
Hey, that does not detract from the main point of her argument.
Shut up, Alex. You're supposed to be on my side.
Yeah,
it is totally on me.
Yeah, blame the parents. Blame the parents.
That's just it. He wasn't a big drinker. And he did, like, this has just recently kind of started, right? I had to learn. I didn't cut my hands up. You know? Had over $500 gas bills. Oh, good Lord. And that's the thing with this carbon tax is, gas is going up through the roof. How do they expect people to live? It's a pandemic. People have lost their jobs and stuff, and people are having to travel a lot more to find work.
Yeah.
People, and that's the thing. Well, just move. You can't just up and fucking move.
Moving is expensive. I will tell you right now.
Yeah. Yeah, move. Yeah, you firsthand. I blame Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, where were the parents? Blame Doom. Again, I played Doom when I was 13. My mind was malleable. I didn't go out and blow a bunch of people away. Then again, I did not have access to firearms.
I played the shit out of Doom and Wolfenstein and Doom 2, and I had access to firearms, and I never touched them.
Yeah.
So.
We are the anomalies.
We are the anomalies. We are. They don't know where to go from there. There, I got singing in. That's all 4 episodes now. I've got singing in. So. Do you like stuff?
Stuff. Do you like stuff?
Yeah. I think I said it last week again. I know it's We Are the World, Brody. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Good Lord, what a great show. I love it. I fucking love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I wish I would. I'm actually kind of glad I didn't watch it sooner because I'd be waiting for the last season to come out, but because they're doing one here just to kind of wrap the series up, but I've quite enjoyed it. And Deadliest Catch is back on TV. What else? That's really about it.
We had talked about movies in not the last episode, but the episode before, and I couldn't remember the name of a movie that affected me in terms of sticking with me after I'd finished watching it. Mm-hmm. I remember the name of the movie now. It's called Infamous. It's from 2006. It stars good old Toby Jones. It's about Truman Capote. If you ever saw the Philip Seymour Hoffman movie Capote, this is basically the same story, but told by different actors, slightly different point of view. It's the ending that really messed me up. I mean, you had said it before on the old show that as you get older as a guy, your emotions start to hit you harder.
Do they ever?
Definitely with me. I mean, I was very shooken up at the ending of this movie for a good half hour. And I've seen disturbing and disgusting and very violent movies, but this one was different. Like this really touched me, not in the Michael Jackson way. I'm not saying that. No, I can't go down that rabbit hole. I'm saying it affected me differently.
Mm-hmm. But those are good movies to like. I'm trying to find a way to put it. Like, yeah, I don't even know how to say it. I don't know how to. I don't even know how to. Oh well, I don't. Yeah, I'm just thinking because he said Mighty Ducks. There's something we could talk about. This is. So the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And I know you don't follow the event, or I don't know if you followed the Avengers, but they did a show on Disney. And spoiler alert.
Sorry, Brody.
Okay, so this isn't really a spoiler because it happens in the comics. The Falcon becomes Captain America. Okay, and that's what happened in the comic books. That's what happened. And I was reading the comment, and I just every once in a while I'll go on a certain comments about things, and people are losing. There's one lady's like, "Oh, it's great how there's so much white on the costume." And this guy, well, because it has white up around the head, and this guy just shared a picture, like from the comic book. It's like, this is the comic book. The suit looks exactly the same from the comic book to what they put on the show. It's exactly because the Falcon's a black gentleman. He's now Captain America. And that's what this fucking woman points out. Oh, well, it's funny how there's so much white on the costume.
Nitpicking.
What the fuck does that have to do? Like, oh, kind of white. Oh. It's exhausting.
Yes.
Exhausting.
Because it's foremost on their mind at all time. They have to turn the conversation into that every time. It's like they have to create enemies. They have to have drama and conflict all the time. Why is beyond me.
Yep, because you like, and that's a lot of times when you read things about. There was a comment I clicked on it, and I think Brody and Trev will say, and I don't know if Chad's still here, but they were talking about like the greatest WWE champions ever. It had Brett and Stone Cold, and the Undertaker guys, and then someone said CM Punk. Not only was a great wrestler, but he was a damn fine MMA fighter, and it's just like. Anybody that follows knows that CM Punk was not a good MMA fighter. He got his ass kicked in 2 fights horribly and was embarrassed, like horribly embarrassed in the second one. And it's just like, I remember seeing that comment going, you're purposely trying to solicit a reaction. Because there are going to be people that are going to bite on this. And you just want to fight. And then like I click on it, you can see where he's commented, like trying to defend himself. Like, and he's not. Like he's just doing it to pick up people's asses, right? And it's just like, can you imagine being that low on the spectrum of thought and in life where you have to like thrive? You thrive on chaos and the chaos that is just fighting with people. I'm trying to articulate it into phrases that just, I don't understand why you get off on that. I mean, we've talked about Joe Rogan has said he watches people on Twitter. Like he literally from first thing in the morning when he gets up, while he's eating breakfast and he works out and does his thing, when he'll periodically check in. And these people are literally fighting all day with people on Facebook or on Twitter, just fighting and fighting and fighting. And it's just like,
some of it is trolling because some people love anarchy, and trolling's been around on the internet since I want to say at least the early 2000s, if not longer.
I'll say, well, not even internet trolling started back on prank phone calls.
Yeah.
Right. My thoughts on AEW's ratings dropping by 300K in 2 weeks. I believe that this, and I haven't. Oh, did I? Yeah, I listened to Cornette, but I believe that the Austin podcast helped a lot with Chris Jericho being on the Austin podcast helped, and a lot of people went and checked it out. And I think a lot of it is the people that checked it out going, "This is fucking stupid." I'm really far behind on all my wrestling podcasts. And I picked Greed from 2001, I believe it was, WCW on Eric Bischoff's show. And they were talking about, they basically were a lot calmer than Jim Cornette talking and said, there's no story. And of course, they're treading very lightly because Conrad's a lot of friends with a lot of guys in AEW. And same with Eric Bischoff. They're just treading lightly. But they basically said what Cornette said, just with a lot less goddams and motherfuckers, you know. So okay, you need to do something for me and Brody. I think me and Brody and Chad listens too. So I believe it was this week's episode of the Jim Cornette Experience. I would really like you to go listen to while you're sitting around this weekend or whatever, the first half an hour of the podcast. He tells a story. It's called the frivolous episode, I believe. It's the last episode. He tells a story, and Brody will attest right now, about a Ford Mustang ending up on the power pole in front of his house. I'm not going to give any away spoilers from the shit that he says, but the biggest line that he says in there about what he hopes happens to someone on the way to the hospital, I fucking almost spit coffee out my nose. I started laughing so hard. So, and Coach Jensen told me that he almost cut his hand while he was cutting vegetables. He started laughing so hard too.
Jesus.
So yeah, just listen to him. You got to listen to Jim Cornette tell this story about how this Ford Mustang ends up on his foot. You got to listen to the whole build up to the story. So, okay. Please, and then tell me what you think and let us know. Yeah, and anyone else, the Jim Cornette Experience podcast. It's on YouTube. The last episode, it's called the Frivolous Episode. Maybe the first half an hour of the podcast, he tells a story, and it's wow. If that's what actually happened verbatim, that is the greatest story. Like, I wish I could have witnessed what had happened. So, yeah.
So a word on trolls. This is where I was going with that. Apparently, in the build up to Saturday, April 24th, people on the internet, some group who likes to troll, were saying that April 24th, 2021 is known as International Rape Day.
Yeah, good Lord.
This is trolling, and people took it seriously. Billy the Fridge talked about it on the Drunken Peasants, how when he was in downtown Seattle, I think it was Pike Place, there was this woman who was taking it seriously, telling Billy, hey, you need to stay home that day. I'm going to be out here fighting for people. Like, there are people out there who are that crazy where they see something on the internet and they think it's real. They cannot discern reality from the entertainment trolling fiction that a lot of people like to engage in.
Yeah, they can't. They don't. Yeah. See, I thought that's what you had said to me, Brody, that he almost crashed the car with that story. But yeah, no, that's the lemming thing. And I say lemming thing. Well, we're just going to follow this. We're not going to do any background check. We're not going to go, this doesn't sound right. Like, are you kidding? In the world we're in right now, there's an International Rape Day. Like, how come I've never heard of this before? Like, yeah, exactly. You know, I'm pretty sure, like, not that, and I'm not giggling to like, oh, why didn't I participate? You know, I'm not saying that, but it's like, I've never heard about this. Like, what? And again, people just, they just take it. There was something the other day, and I can't remember what the joke was. And I wish I meant to clip it and save it, but this person made a really, you could tell it was a joke. And the guy was like dead serious. Oh, well, you're wrong, and blah, blah. And I actually shared the joke. Like there's a guy and the joke's going over his head. Like, wow, just people.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why we have this great schism with regards to people believing or listening to doctors challenging them on COVID and pretty much anything. Now, years ago during the George W. Bush administration, people started saying, question everything. And at that time, yes, absolutely. With the way the administration was handling the Iraq war and the way the media was going along with it, instead of asking questions, independent media said, question everything. Well, now that question everything is being turned on everything. Do we know that our medical science is true? Do we know that our history is true? And it's great that they're overturning a lot of stones and digging up a lot of traditions that are rooted in pretty much absolute nonsense. And like I think it was the 7 countries study was dug up, and that's a bunch of bullshit. That was done in, I think, 1980, and this is when our medical community said with regards to diet, we should get off the saturated fat. We should go to a high carb, low fat diet. Well, look how well that's turned out. And we're starting to turn back from that.
Yeah.
So this question everything is kind of being taken too far. I can understand why some people would question everything, especially with regards to COVID, because it does look like governments of the world are attempting to take freedom and uniting people against a common cause. I think H.G. Wells had said that uniting people against a common cause is the fastest way to I don't know, take their freedom or something like that, but uniting everyone into one hive mind. And he was saying that with regards to aliens, but with regards to COVID, it makes more sense in this day and age.
Most definitely.
It does look like that.
Yep. And it's funny when you say about food and stuff, because I've really had to watch, because especially because I'm not be able to work out like I used to, even with the leg and everything, with my carbs and whatnot, because I'm not burning as much. Like I have to really watch, because of course carbs turn to sugars, right? And I've really noticed a lot lately, because I can have 60 carbs per meal. That's the limit I need to be at. And but then I got to read that and go, okay, well, carbs is 46%, but then there's this much sugar. So, like, now I gotta, I'm really been watching it lately and taking fiber drinks and whatnot. So
good,
slowly getting better. But yeah, we got to start wrapping this up, because I'm gonna have to go get the boys. So
okay, I was going to say what I started doing years ago. Everything I eat, I take the nutritional information, plug it into a spreadsheet, and then I know my macros, my vitamins, sugar, fiber, all that.
Yeah.
And I'll be going keto pretty soon, and I'm going to go it as long as I can, at least 3 months. And we'll see what happens from there. But because of the spreadsheet, I can do it with great accuracy.
And that's what my bass player is doing. He's lost, like I said, like he was 320 something. He's down to like 212. And he keeps track of all that shit. Yeah. So
nice. All right. Well, we will end this for now. Again, I think just like last time, we're in the hour 35, hour 37 range. Thank everyone for listening. I mean, what did we discuss of substance? Probably nothing that you didn't already know, but thanks for, I don't know, wasting an hour and a half of your life with us. We really appreciate it.
We had stories to start the night.
So story time with Nick.
I can try to think of some other good ones. Alex actually said years ago, because I shared a few of my stories with him from the road when I was on the highway. It wasn't a long career on the highway, about 3 years, but he's like, you should, because there was some interesting shit that happened while I was on the road. I met some really cool people. But yeah, maybe I'll tell the Vegas poo story next. My Vegas truck stop poo story next week. I remember that I told you that one, and that was the one when you said you need to write a book. Like, so yeah.
Or something. Yeah.
No shit.
All right. Well, I'm going to end on this meme that I unfortunately didn't get to put in last week. I'm not giving you shit or anything. I'm just saying it was bad timing. So
totally
think of this happening at the end of last week's show. And thank you very much for watching.
Thanks, guys. Good night.